A channel lights the calm relay. Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints the night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.
Good evening, everybody. At least it's good evening for me, hence the name The Night Watch. And here we are at The Night Watch, hanging out and having some fun with some good folks. And speaking of some good folks, I see great folks in the chat. I see great folks here. I should say excellent folks. We're boosting everybody all up to excellent. Good to see you all. Hi, Scott. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's way too night for Night Watch.
Too night for Night Watch. Yeah, we were saying Scott's got to do something, and I got something to do later too. So we're gonna cut it to 2 hours this evening. So it's gonna be short and sweet. We're gonna dive right in, and we're gonna answer as many of these pressing questions as we can here at the Night Watch.
What do you got for us?
I'll tell you in just 1 second. Let's say hi to everybody. Let's say hi to Commander Elbows Up, Commander Alleman. How you doing? Permanent Flux is here. Hello. Jin is joining us. Tori is joining us. Hello, Tori. And Ryan Cultastic. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. Caught Ryan earlier today, just about 12 hours ago. I saw Ryan. Good to see you again, Ryan. Spooky in the house. Hello, Spooky. Good to see you. Zervak is in. Hello. And again, welcome, gentlemen. Brian's dropping hearts as always. Yeah, I gotta get that little app thing. That's pretty neat. Do a, Bigfoot or something. And don't forget, we do have memberships now. We do have all kinds of emojis, speaking of Bigfoot. So if you want to join in on the fun, we do have memberships now. Lots of great emojis, including not only Bigfoot, but we have Answers in Atheism on toast. And nobody has Answers in Atheism on toast. For no other reason, you can get an Answers in Atheism on toast emoji. And Ed was very happy that we got those from at the Rabid Atheist, because he noticed that there wasn't a toast emoji to choose from on YouTube here in the Googles. So I think there's a bread, but there's not a toast. So we're one up on them. And now what you were saying, Mike, I was just telling Scott, first up here, I think we're going to take a look at a Bodie Hodge video.
Okay. Oh, no.
Not only is Bodie fun to respond to, but we're going to talk a little bit about Bodie after we watch the video, okay?
Oh, yeah, we should talk about him.
Yeah, so...
He deserves nothing less.
let's check it out here, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on over there at AIG and with Bodie. All right, we got her pulled up, and yeah, I get. Well, I guess we can still see the chats a little bit, can't we? Okay. They do have the chat thing on here they're trying out. So the chat's on the screen. We're checking it out, but it's kind of right here. So let me see.
My saved chat extension isn't working tonight. I updated my OS. I think that was a problem.
What if I? Okay, yeah. If I pop it out, we can see the chat again. Okay. All right, we'll figure it out. Anyway, yeah, they new beta thing on StreamYard. You got the chat on the screen, so drop emojis and all that good stuff. Say hi, hello, and everything. Yeah, see it on the screen, Mike.
Yeah, is it an option that you turn on?
I just popped on today. It was on the top of the screen. It says beta, and you can turn it on and off. Right at the very top, underneath. Right at the top.
Yeah.
Right.
One more thing to get in the way of my content. So.
Well, everybody gets on the screen. So yeah, if you want to say something, drop all them emojis and all that good stuff. There you go. You're on the screen for all to see. And all right, we got Bodie up. Just checking everything here. All right, let's check the volume. Volume's all the way up. All right, here we go.
Here's what I can tell you about science. It is observable and repeatable.
Can you hear it okay?
Whoa.
I
Okay.
don't want to hear
That
this.
statement is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Let me tell you about science. Science is observable and repeatable. No, science is a methodology. It involves observation and repeating, but there's a whole lot of other tools
There's
involved.
a whole lot more to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this Dirk Wise just takes just a real simplistic, narrow. He's just basically doing putting all his little talking points in a blender, mixing everything up, and hoping it sounds intelligent when he spouts it out.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about religious mythology. It's observable and repeatable. Wait, it's not.
No, sadly it's not. And look at the trees. Good to see you. Hello, look at the trees, my brother. Just talking about you earlier. That's right. It was all bad, man. It was all bad.
Another thing is
Trees just put out some new videos. Make sure you go check out Look at the Trees and support him over there. All right. Appreciate it.
Hey, I was out looking at some trees and I found this big weed.
Yeah.
And I was craving a salad, and it looked like a really thick stalk of leek. And I was thinking about cutting it and eating it. Well, texted it to my friend, and she had a talk with me. And turns out it was like, it's called Satan's parsley. And if you touch it and you get your hand in the sun, it will burn through your skin and give you permanent scars.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
not
I think
a good
with a
salad.
name, with a name like that's kind of a warning,
Satan's
isn't it?
parsley, that was a giveaway right there. Yes, I decided not to put it in my salad.
Yeah, don't do that. And Mike was out in the trees
Yes.
last week, sharing some really cool pics and everything.
those people
what-
are so remote up there where he was that they think they're in Virginia.
Yeah.
Beautiful scenery. Yeah, Mike was out with the trees, so
Oh, the trees.
definitely looking at the trees intently. And Mike, did you become a believer after looking at all those trees?
I became a believer in hallucinations. Yeah.
No luck with
I
the
saw-
trees, though.
yeah,
Okay.
I saw some interesting things. Just put it that way. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay, Bodie. Bodie's giving us a science lesson here. Okay, here we go. It's really short. What is it? It's 19 seconds, so you don't have to suffer long. Here we go.
Anyone ever observed or repeated the Big Bang? No. Anyone ever
Okay,
observed or
stop.
repeated million?
Jesus Christ.
All right.
There's-
You know, the things that you can observe directly, you can observe as part of the scientific method. But for things that you can't observe directly, like our things that maybe only happen one time that we know of, or happened so long ago, long before we were even there was even life. Maybe you look at the data and the observations of the cosmos that you use to build your models, and look at that. That's observation. There's plenty of observations pertaining to the Big Bang, but to say, oh, you have to observe it or it's not valid, or if you can't observe it, God must be real, is just a leap. It's a dumb leap.
Right.
Okay.
And
Does anybody?
with the James Webb, I mean, they're peering back to just after the Big Bang, right? I mean, they're
almost
that
observing.
close to looking, observing it, because creationists often forget in astronomy, you can observe the past because you can look into the past every time you look into a telescope, whether it's a matter of seconds or minutes or hours or light years. You're always looking into the past when you're looking into a telescope.
Yep. Anybody ever observed God creating man? Anybody ever observed that? Anybody ever observed the inside of a star, a black hole directly? Have we observed it? Is it repeatable? I mean, it's just stupid stuff that just spills out of this idiot's mouth.
Yeah, that's what I like to say. It's is the only way you're going to accept the temperature of the sun is if you have somebody walk up to it and put a thermometer in it.
Have we ever observed a subducting plate, continent, an oceanic plate subducting under? No, we haven't observed it. What does he mean by observe exactly? Have we ever actually observed microscopic, like bacteria? No, we're looking through a lens and we're looking through some lights, and it's like,
Well, if you go small enough, we can't see it, right? I mean, you go subatomic, you can't see it.
And the word observe is kind of a basket, that needs a little bit of analysis when you're talking about what you can observe. And there's also deduction and induction with science, basically. And we use it all the time for everything. When you do an experiment, you do not observe the carbon hooking up to the oxygen, right? We basically that's all inductive and deductive, and he is just being an ass. And I would just like to sig Will Smith on these guys. You know, just have him walk up there and slap them. Okay.
Well, of course,
I'm not in a generous mood tonight. I should warn you.
that's all right. I had a glass of wine with dinner myself. I'm feeling pretty loose, so
Yeah.
watch out. Yeah, if you go to the sun, you should go at night. So yeah, Ken Ham likes to pull the observational science and historical science, like they're different things. That you can't do science the same way that is something in front of you versus something in the past. But that's leaving out the fact that he employs a former forensic scientist.
Did we freeze? Did I freeze? Oh no.
I think Dave may have frozen.
Oh, okay. It wasn't me. I thought it was me.
Yeah, I was kind of looking. I'm waiting for him to say something else, or maybe he's just taking one of those pregnant pauses
Right.
that's so effective in rhetoric.
Okay.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
He's back.
He's back alive. Okay. Oh, he is risen.
I was just looking. I had some kind of a hiccup. Yeah, everything just went blinky blink real quick, and then it came back on. So
Glory be, you is risen.
yeah, all right. So hi, I'm back. I was just like, oh crap, what the heck happened? I had a circle going. All right, we're back. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Probably nothing because we're talking about Bodhi, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Ken Ham likes to do the observational versus historical science, like they're different things. So that's what they push a lot. So anything that you can't do right in front of you is not real science, and that way they can discount all the things they don't like about the past.
Millions of years. No. Anyone ever observed or repeated the changing of a single-celled organism like an amoeba into a goat? Never seen it.
What? What?
Oh, Bodhi.
Okay.
Bodhi. But Bodhi can do better than that. Really, Bodhi? Oh, geez.
I think this is a thing at AIG where people come to the art museum or whatever, and then they attend a free lecture or something put on by Georgia or this guy or
Yeah.
somebody else on the staff, and that's just his talking points that he's required to speak. I'm not saying that he doesn't believe the talking points, because the guy just generally doesn't know much. It doesn't seem like, but you know that's just the stuff they have to say. This is Talking Point USA.
Why are these people victims of this stuff? Who are these people in the audience that are falling for this kind of unthought out bullshit? And I always like to look up supplemental material when I'm listening to these guys.
Well,
And
I think you need to go to that protest at the at the Ark, and then but take some time and go up to the entrance and just ask people, "What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Why is this place attractive to you? Are you going to go to the lecture?"
I like to look up the science behind things while I'm listening to these videos, and I came up with fool, jerk, moron, nitwit, stupid, twit, blockhead, bonehead, cretin, dimwit, dork, dumbbell, dunce, ignoramus, imbecile, kook, muttonhead, nincompoop, ninny, Pinhead and Simpleton.
Wow. I'm going to take the grumpy off of my little tagline there because I think you should put it on yours.
Well, I came up with some synonyms for him. Anyway.
We'll let him finish here. He's only got one more thing.
That's actually a religious worldview. You see, it's a battle over two different religions.
Fossil fuels.
Oops.
Yeah,
Come on, button.
Here's what I can tell you about science.
Yeah. All right. There you go. It moves. Yeah, the button moves. You got to be quick.
I know.
Yeah, Bodhi, no Bodhi, as we already explained, it's just nonsense. And they want to set up everything as a religion with Ken Ham and same old Bodhi. But a reason I wanted to just bring up same old Bodhi is it ain't the same old no more with Bodhi over at Answers in Genesis. It
He's not there
seems.
anymore, is he? Yeah.
Seems Bodhi's been come up missing, and
Maybe there's a divorce in the family, a separation or something more insidious. Yeah.
Well, if anybody follows Answers in Genesis, you would know Bodhi and Ken Ham were always pretty tight, right? When they would do the little shows and the walkthroughs and whatever they were doing, it was almost always Bodhi and Ken Ham.
Isn't Bodhi his son-in-law or something?
Yep. It's his son-in-law.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe something went wrong there. Yeah. Who knows?
We don't know.
We don't know. We're just speculating. Maybe
we don't know.
Maybe there's a choir boy. I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
We just don't know.
But there seems to be, possibly somebody might have been upset too, because when they brought in Martin Iles, and then Martin Iles ended up leaving, and maybe it was something was said, maybe his feelings were hurt. I don't know. Whatever was going on, it seems, and Scott was mentioning. Scott, why don't you tell everybody what Dr. Joel was saying about it?
Yeah, by the way, I put a link to Bodhi's. He's got a Bodhi Hodges Ministries blog site that he's updating. So that may be.
Did Noah have triplets? That's the leading article on his.
Just really needy stuff, really heady stuff.
Yeah.
But
Joel. And what's up with that name, Bodhi? I imagine when his parents, when he was like 3-4 years old, he just finally started to learn to talk, and he started spewing bullshit. They said, "Oh, the cute. We're going to call him Bodhi."
Is Bodhi short for something?
I can't take it seriously.
Yeah, it's like, is it short for bodacious or something?
Bodacious?
I don't know. What's up, Phantom? How you doing? Good to see you, Jasper. Hey.
It's like, we'll call him Bodhi.
Okay, I'm asking Copilot what. Oh, Copilot farted on me here. Bodhi can be a standalone name, but it is sometimes shortened form of Boden, a German name meaning shelter. It's also maybe an anglicized version of Bodhi, a Sanskrit name meaning enlightenment, which I doubt. I doubt is short for Bodhi, Bodhi. Some sources suggest it could have Scandinavian roots where it signifies one who brings news. So I don't know.
We got it right here. We got it, Scott. Jin's got it covered.
Jethro Bodine.
It's Jethro Bodine.
I don't
he ciphers up to 5.
I don't think we want to sully the name of Jethro Bodine with this guy. But anyway, what Joel Duff was talking about him the other day, the fact that he had been scrubbed off of the AIG website. You can have books or whatever that or articles that he co-authored will pop up in their store web page. But if you do a direct search for Bodhi or Hodge or Bodhi Hodge, nothing comes up. So they have,
Wow. They had
what's the
something
word in
happen.
Mission Impossible? Disavowed him,
Yeah,
apparently.
something happened. Wow.
But
That's,
it was either like when Martin Lyles first came that he left, or maybe right after Martin Lyles. I can't want to say lies, Martin Lies, but Martin
Close enough.
Lyles.
otherwise,
Maybe after he left, that Bodie decided to leave, and the suspicion or the speculation, because we don't know,
We
is
don't
that
know.
he just got his nose out of joint because he wasn't selected to become,
oh,
chief
yeah.
operations or CEO or whatever. And I would think the second time would have really done him in. 2 times in a row not being chosen for that spot. So the idea being that Ken Ham is looking for some other sexier Australian dude or something to
Yep.
Well, and I'm pretty sure Bodie's wife is the one that is like the principal, so to speak, or whatever at their school. I'm pretty sure she's the one that runs the school. And the school has expanded, by the way, if you hadn't heard. They bought the old Toyota headquarters, whatever kind of building, and they expanded their school, which was it was at a church somewhere. It wasn't very roomy, right? Now they've got room for K through 12, where it was just K through 8, and they're going to put their media center in there, which is going to have where they produce their videos and whatever they do, media stuff. So yeah, they've got a building, and Dr. Joel covered it, and he even went to the building. So if you want to see any of that stuff, Dr. Joel does a great job of staying up on it. And mind you, Dr. Joel is a believer, so this has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the pseudoscience, which is also an issue that primarily we have, right? It's the harm of religion, but if you're behaving yourself, the issue is the pseudoscience, right? So these folks have it every way till Tuesday, okay? Because AIG does the pseudoscience, they do the pseudo theology, they do the bigotry, right on down the line. All the worst things you could be, that's AIG.
Can you imagine spending your high school years in Ken Ham's school in his Toyota building? That would be hell. I mean, that's where they're going to send me if I go to hell. I'm going to end up in that school in 7th grade. I know.
I went to the good old schools in brick buildings, with the little mini pillars on the fronts and everything.
Right. Yeah, we had mini pillars. Yeah.
Mike, I think you just answered your question about the audience there at that Bodie was talking to. Most people are in hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to sleep, you old people.
Maybe this
I
is
wish I
content.
in the kitchen to get some water. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Maybe this is what they're doing is Bodie is creating content for the people in hell to torture them. And someday I'm going to have to listen to them 24/7.
We got a noise complaint here from the neighbors telling us to go to sleep. We're keeping up. We're making too much racket, I guess. It's old people.
What? Got a noise complaint?
It says, go to sleep, you old people.
Oh, go to sleep, you. Oh, it's Oregon. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Ollie says, anyone going to Baja Con in August, they will be there. Hang out, party. So look for them
Share
there.
a bowl. How about a cap instead of a bowl? Share a cap with you.
Edger, Scott's a little echoey. Yeah, he's in an open room there.
Is he?
It doesn't sound too bad. We'll let him slide. If it gets too annoying, we'll cut him right off. Don't worry.
Yeah, how am I coming through? Am I okay?
You're sounding all right to me.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Camera resolution. Where the hell's my audio? Oh no, I shouldn't sound all right. I should sound horrible. I don't know.
How about now? How do I sound now?
No, that one's no good.
What?
Much better. But, oh, well, wait. Keep talking.
Okay, something went wrong with my.
Okay, now you're okay. Now, yeah,
Okay.
you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, I was on the wrong microphone. I was on my AirPods before, except now my AirPods are all funky and I got to fix those. What the hell is going on?
You know, we've been talking about Joel Duff a little. Yesterday on his YouTube channel, which is Dr. Joel Duff, surprisingly, he did a really good presentation on how blue holes in the Caribbean disprove young Earth creationism. He's been doing really good about presenting these videos that take the things you just wouldn't think about and shows how they disprove biblical creation. He did a whole series on the Dead Sea.
Oh, that
Not the-
was great.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dead Sea, and he's
there were like
he's
six.
putting that together into the book, but he's done other smaller issues as well. And for some reason, I can only remember yesterday's. It might have been today that he did it, presented it. But yeah, go to Dr. Joel Duff, that channel, and you'll see some really good content dealing with young Earth creationism.
And Dr. Joel is a good example of what a Christian should be. You know?
I don't know. We've got one here that's going to contradict that.
Really? Do we?
If you had said to someone in Victorian times that one day science would confirm what the Bible says, that the whole universe came out of nothing, they would have never believed that that was going to happen. But that is modern physics. That's what it says. That
No. Nobody
Who is
says
this
that.
guy?
Is he going to expand on this a little bit?
Yeah.
Who is he?
I don't know. The thing is called Clive Thorne. It looks like.
Clive Thorne, Thorne.
Yeah, Clive Thorne.
What's a
the
clay?
entire universe came out of no space, no time, what they call a singularity. So
No,
that
it
is a
didn't come out
stunning
of that, you
validation
idiot.
of the first verse of the Bible. The whole thing came into being out of nothing.
Yeah, that's that. Go ahead, Mike. That's exactly what I thought when I saw this video.
It didn't come into being because there was no time prior to that, no space prior to that. There's nothing outside of it. There's nothing before it. It doesn't make any sense to talk like that. And they keep doing it. It's like it came out of nothing. Nothing caused it. No, and it wasn't a big bang. It wasn't an explosion. We know that the universe is expanding. And we extrapolated that expansion all the way back to an infinitesimally small point, but we don't even know anything about that. So we just don't know. And it doesn't make any sense for us humans to talk about what caused it or what was before it, because that's not how it works. That's not how physics works. So,
Hey, would
And-
you put the link to this short in the private chat? I want to look this guy up.
Yeah, I don't.
Life,
Let me see if it. Let me check the.
let's see what it is.
Nothing in the description or anything to help. Sorry, but yeah, I'll get you the link for it.
Clive Thorne Kindle Store, Clive Thorne Instant Apostle.
Well, it just
Instant
might be the
Apostle.
name. It might just be the name of the channel. I don't know if it's this guy's name.
Well, when I did a inquiry on Copilot, it said he was a lawyer. How odd that a lawyer would talk about science.
Okay.
There's
There's a-
there's a link. There's a link in the private chat there.
All right, I want to be looking into
And
this.
what's up there, Leo? How you doing this evening? Good to see you.
There's another Clive Thorne that has spent the last 40 years in outreach to Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims. having trained in India, he's bringing them the word of the Lord. It's about the heartbeat of Christian life and what it's meant to build treasure in heaven. I think it's him. I think it's the same guy, except he's a lot older in this video than he is in his picture over here, but he looks very similar. And he's written some books, Hidden in Plain Sight. Where does your treasure lie? What is it that makes you come alive? Anyway, Hidden in Plain Sight. I think it's him.
Okay. Jasper says the 2 sites mentioned are awful. Usually, I mean, that's what I strive for, seriously. I mean, I was just mentioning earlier, you know, somebody's got to look at these shorts and reply to them, because there's so many of them. I see them all the time, and there's just too many of them out there that just asking for my response and just putting a little comment in there. I was like, oh, you know, doesn't really mean much, you know. And I kind of want to sit here and say, you know what, this is really terrible. In my opinion, all right, what you just said was physicists say the universe came out of nothing. And then you turn around and say it came out of a singularity. Now, a singularity is not nothing.
Yeah.
Right there, I mean, if you just think about that without knowing much of anything else, just listen to what he said. He said they say out of nothing, and then he says out of a singularity. So, yeah, really terrible. All I could think was, you just you should have stopped before the end part there, before you gave the rest of it away, right? You seriously goofed. Yeah, really terrible. Sorry. Terrible.
Orge 343 says, you all still bitch about kids can't drive a stick, don't you? He's trying to pretend he's young, and he's actually my father. I don't know if you knew that or not. The bastard, you know, it was a hit and run sort of thing for him. But
oh boy, here we go. We have to mention this here. This something about the shroud. Oh, we have to do this. Okay, here we go. Something about the shroud.
Thinking back to 1978 and his time in the room with the shroud, Barry Schwartz remembers one moment in particular.
Especially my friend Don Lynn from JPL. I remember asking him, I think a day into it or so, in the evening, it was quiet. So I said, so what are you feeling, Don? And he said, and there's a photo of him sort of leaning over the shroud, looking at it that I made.
Yep, he's definitely leaning over it and looking at it.
It's not that much of a.
saying what?
I agree. They're looking at it, and
I've seen more leaning in other
leaning, looking.
But wait a minute, he's from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and he's a scientist. So if he's leaning over and looking at something, what does that tell us? What does that tell us?
I don't know. It's telling me they're playing music in the background.
Yeah,
we really need to consider what they're doing here for a moment.
You know, I didn't know that. I guess the Jet Propulsion Lab might have something to do with fabric, but this is basically, you know, we need people who can, you know, do carbon dating. We need people who are experts on ancient fabrics. And where do they deal with that at the Jet Propulsion Lab? Of course, he just may be a Catholic with clout.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see it.
And hey, Tilting Windmill and Michael. Good to see you, Michael. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so definitely looking. It, you know, the thing with the music, it's like, you know, it's really annoying, okay? It really is, because you don't know if you can, you know, play it or not. But just in case, I was wondering, and I thought, well, we will ponder the leaning. So I think we've pondered the leaning now.
It's just him looking at it. And he said, what moved me is the tortured body and the peacefulness of his face. Because here's
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Look at that face.
That's a face only a mother could love.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? I mean,
How much have they enhanced this?
now what? Well, here's my thing, okay? I have heard the exact opposite. That you can see the anguish and everything else in the face in this image. Now, which one is it? Do you see the anguish of the beaten, crucified man, or do you see the happy man?
How is this supposed to have stained this blanket, right? Where the hair and the eyebrows look like they've also stained it. What does that? I mean,
Yeah.
Like, did they melt his face into the damn thing, hair and all? I don't know where they're going. with
Okay,
this crap.
History Valley, several weeks
Yeah,
ago.
they did a good thing on it, right?
Okay. Wasn't
You got a link? You got a link?
I don't have a link with me now.
I don't have a link with.
Let me see if they mention it here, and then I'll tell you what I know about what they say.
Let me look
There's a
up
man
some
who's
synonyms for Scott.
beaten, and speared, and scourged, and stabbed, and all these terrible things done to him, and yet you don't see a grimace on his face.
He's dead. You're not going to grimace when you're dead.
Yeah, what the hell?
What do you? Come on, you can barely. I mean, I understand you can see this face here, okay, but I mean, seriously, you can't tell any expression at all, other than it looks like stone face dead person. That's it. If that's what it's supposed to be.
What's the name of that video? That they may have done a few. I'm looking up History Valley's thing on it. How the Shroud of Turin Deceived Everyone. Nicholas Peter, is that the one, Scott?
Yeah, there's three of them. There was one.
Three.
Yeah, there was one earlier in the week, and then one on a Friday night, late on a Friday, and then the following day on a Saturday, what's his name? Is it Jacob Berman?
It is. Yeah.
Again for a second time. So, it's Nicholas Allen Lee something.
Yeah, Nicholas Lee Allen.
Nicholas Lee Allen. Okay. Yeah. And now he claims to have done a proof of concept on his theory that they used silver. Oh, not silver nitrate. Maybe it was, or silver, some compound of silver.
Yeah.
To soak the sheet in, the fabric in, and he used some sort of fabric that was analogous to what the Shroud of Turin was, coated it in the chemical, and basically used what's called a camera obscura, using a crystal ball. Actually, it's like the size of a rock. It's crystal. Light will go through it, and he basically put it in this the sheet in this dark room, hung up with a hole in the wall, and the sunlight would go through. And of course, he hung a scale size, scale model cadaver, carving or whatever. It was a statue for him, but it could have been a cadaver. It could have been anything life size and three-dimensional. Hung it, and basically, the sunlight, would hit the statue, bounce off of it, go into the crystal, and then hit the sheet, which was treated with a photoreactive substance, some compound of silver nitrate. He says in the video, and of course I don't have the link to it, but just go to History Valley and look for Nicholas Lee Allen, and I think the thumbnail says forged or something like that on it. You'll be able to find it pretty easily. But so he did a proof.
It's not real.
Was to generate a very close approximation of what the Shroud of Turin looked at. Of course, I wish I could read his book, but it costs money, and I don't have money. So I'm not going to order, get the book or anything, but there have been proofs of concept done that have been largely ignored by the Catholic community. People who are a little bit motivated to believe that the Shroud of Turin really is Jesus, as if anybody knows what Jesus looked like.
Pain or misery, it's sort of a peaceful expression. And Don Lynn, may he rest in peace, said that was what moved him the most.
Yeah,
you
okay.
can't answer it.
Well, and Barry's a big supporter of the Shroud, by the way. Anyways, what I know, what they say is that it's an image because Jesus radiated out through the cloth or something, but it doesn't like go through it though. Whatever the material is only penetrates certain amounts of the fibers, right? So I don't understand their story of how it, radiated him, right through the shroud, and then like you disappear through it, and then the shroud just falls, because there's nobody there anymore.
So what is their claim, that they put a corpse or put a shroud on a corpse and the fluids leaked on it, or that it was some supernatural event where he took a supernatural photo of himself after he was dead?
Well, pretty much it's a combination, because they say there's evidence of fluids, but then there's also evidence of this supernatural thing. So I guess he took all his bloodstains radiated with him too.
Right. And how are we going to detect that supernatural thing with sciences? Observable, repeatable. Yeah. Anyway.
And there's all kind of other questions. First of all, it's not mentioned in the Bible.
Why isn't Otangelo here yet? We said Shroud of Turin a number of times.
Oh, gosh, you're going to curse me.
He's going to pop up at any moment.
My biggest thing is it's not mentioned in the Bible. None of the early church fathers mentioned it. It didn't seem to exist to them. So even the Catholic Church seems to lean towards, it's some kind of art or whatever, right? So there
were letters saying that it was a fraud and a fake anyway, way back then.
Yeah, so. It's pretty much what the Pope said, that it's spiritual art, I think is how he said it, some kind of wording like that, and just leave it at that. And the church has had no interest in further testing. They pretty much agree that there's no need for it. Again, it's not from Jesus. That's not what the reason is to go and see it and be moved by it. It's just like if you went and saw a sculpture or a painting or anything else of, the emotional part of Christianity with Jesus being crucified. And what's up, native atheist? How you doing?
I think it's a straw that they're
tinfoil hat. See, y'all are crashing dashing my hopes of the shroud being real here. Seriously. By the way, I did a video on the Shroud of Turin. I put a lot of work into it.
And it was an excellent video.
Thank you very much. If you want to just give it a check real quick and drop me a comment on what I said about the Shroud, give it a look. It's in my it's on my channel there somewhere. It's Shroud of Turin.
Tilting Windmill has a comment worth displaying. Oh, you can see all your comments anyway. I see.
You can see the comments. It's got a little small though. Which one here?
That no one has seen it or heard of it.
Yeah, no one's seen it for 1,300 years. Yeah. See, that's the thing. The what's known about it and the history of it and everything also coincides with what they date it to. So they're pretty much, there's no reason to argue other than a few people want to sell books, and a couple of them are all over the Google Docs or whatever it is with their papers about new testing being done. Okay. Now, I see these articles all the time. In fact, I just saw one yesterday, maybe. New testing on the Shroud. Okay. No, there has been no new testing. No, the church allowed that one testing decades ago and no other testing. There's no mystery samples that they're giving out. There's been no other testing done on it. It's been preserved, right? They went through it. Some of the areas that were repaired, they took it back out. So it was like original again. And they put it all on the nice background and all that stuff. And they put it in the nice case and it's all sealed away. And it's like bulletproof and fireproof and all them good things. Nobody's been touching it. So every time they say they've been testing these things and stuff, no. The samples that were taken, Mike and Scott, I think, can both back me up on this. They're destroyed when they do the testing on them. Okay? Yeah. Gone. Okay?
Yep.
What do they vaporize it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So every time you see any of these and every time I see one, first thing I think of is, no, the church has not allowed any testing. Nobody's been taking pieces off of it. So right there, no, it's phony baloney. Other than, the obvious. But all the claims are just, sell books or whatever they're doing. And no. And biblically, it's not backed up. If you read the Bible, it says linens, strips of linens, right? It doesn't even say a burial shroud. And there's just so many things that I don't even know why they try to argue with it or for it, other than they just want to believe so much that they've actually got something. Same thing with the mountain formation. They want to think is Noah's Ark, right? They just some folks just want to so much, and you know why? Because folks like this guy here that say why the Bible must be our ultimate foundation, and guess who it is? Mike's favorite.
Many Christians are involved in fighting against the results of a modern secularized culture in areas like the abortion issue, same-sex marriage, lack of ethics and morality everywhere, etc.
Oh yeah,
is that my Canadian buddy?
That's your Canadian buddy. Yeah,
Canadian. I love him. I just love him so much.
This is Calvin Smith, another one that got snubbed for promotion at Answers in Genesis. He's in Canada, and he has some interesting outfits that he wears. His fashion sense is unique, I must say. And of course, he starts right out with, "Look how terrible everything is," and you see a rainbow flag, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just so terrible that you can't persecute people. Oh, that's just so terrible, Calvin. I feel so bad for you.
And still don't understand these are just symptoms of a battle that was lost years ago. To regain any real ground, arguments against these issues must have a source of authority, a foundational platform to base all of these arguments upon.
Yeah, for those of you interested in, getting fair market value for your female offspring, you may want to check the Bible, right? Every time they say the Bible, it's like, have you actually read the Bible? You can sell people's property and all kinds of horrible things in there, and they want to say, "Oh, it's the source for morality," and it's like, really? When I read the Bible, you know what I think of? The Vikings, right?
Yeah.
I just think of warlords, or whatever you want to call them, right?
What is the going rate for an 8th grader in sheep? Like how many sheep?
And of course, Deconverted Man went through the 613 of the actual laws in the Old Testament. Yeah. I'm sure he never wants to do it again. If you want to hear him do all 613, he did it. More power to him. I don't know how many. Like 4 different.
Has one for sale.
Yeah. No, see,
Yeah, he's got more sound.
I think it took him like 4 videos or something, whatever it was. Yeah, really, you want to go through those 613 rules? You know, come on. It's so absurd.
Why is abortion wrong? Because all people are precious, made in the image of God. Source of authority? Genesis. Why are marriage relationships other than one man for one woman wrong? Because God created marriage to be one man with one woman for life.
Okay, well, there's a lot of arguments on the abortion issue. Yeah, when life actually begins, if before there's a brain function, all the different things, and it's a difficult decision, no matter what. Okay, and these clowns here are certainly not the ones that should be saying what medical decisions should be made. So don't listen to any of these. It's disinformation. It's Minecraft nonsense. They live in Minecraft, okay? And then the marriage thing, okay? I don't see marriage defined in the Bible myself.
I know.
I really don't.
And I tried that one man for one woman thing twice, and I think it should be one man for 0 women in my experience.
Robin, hello. Good to see you. Hope you're well.
Done it twice.
So they're real big into social issues, sticking their noses in where it doesn't belong. And the societal decay thing, it's like, you got to be kidding. Again, you read the Bible, right? It's, pillaging and, Vikings rolling up on shore and just taking over, and you know what I mean?
Killing like a whole church load of monks, and
yeah.
And it's like, things are nowhere near that
hold
bad.
on. We got Robin Webster gifting a Captive Desk membership. Robin Webster, you are awesome. And Robin Webster,
Let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among the shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Yes.
you rock, Robin. Thank you very much. And enjoy those emojis.
I still haven't figured out how to join.
Let me see. I had to wait for it to catch up. Permanent Flux received a gift membership. There you go, Permanent Flux. Welcome. There's a little bit of a delay for me to catch it, but there it is. And Tilting Windmill, dropping foots all over the place. There you go.
I have a kitty.
Yeah, Mike's got to get with the Google thing and get his account fixed.
Yep.
All right, yeah, and of course, yeah, they're just being awful. And okay, so the Bible must be our ultimate foundation. So, well, I'm going to scratch too, because first of all, the whole thing that people are valuable in the Bible, and people are sold in the Bible, so you have no high ground there. And there's a recipe in the Bible for taking care of suspected adultery issue, right? And you drink that cocktail, and it's pretty much like an abortion thing. And then, marriage is not defined in the Bible. You know what it says in the Bible? Adam said, "You're my wife." That's what it says, okay? Challenge me on it, all right? That's what I read. It says, Adam says, "And now you are my wife," or "You will be my wife," or "I take you as my wife." However it's worded, it was just, "You're mine," because it was just a property thing. So, no. And Robin, a member for 1 month. We got all kind of cool things now with all these awesome members and subscribers to the channel. yeah, we got a lot more fun things on the channel. I appreciate it. And of course, when people join, we get more emojis. We have more fun with emojis. And you get to see my videos before anybody else and all the other little things that go along with being a member, as well as thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just for the support. It's really great.
You had a big event today, Dave. You may not want to mention it, but or not.
Oh, I had. Well, I don't want to mention the specifics or anything because it's it's personal information. But I am officially a YouTube affiliate. So if you drop a chat or a super chat or you become a member or anything like that, I will get a couple bucks out of it, and I appreciate that very much too.
Right,
show love for
the other part. Next weekend, Dave, Porterhouse Steaks and all the beer you can drink on Dave at his house.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be rolling in the dough now.
Rolling, yeah. Right.
That's right.
I'll post your address real quick.
I'll be looking down at you peasants, you know.
Yeah, I'm posting your address, Dave.
But it is, it does mean a lot. It's a great way to show some love and everything, right? And a lot of us do it, for various reasons. And I and everybody else always appreciate it very much that somebody would share the love. So.
This shit is this shit isn't free. Doing a YouTube channel. Yeah, they hit you for this and that every month.
Speaking of, Jasper just gifted another Captive Desk membership, and Jasper, you know what that means?
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And you also get that.
Porterhouse Steak and all the beer you can drink.
That's right. We're going to have it right here at the Saturday Night at the Atheists virtual. I'm going to beam them all right out. I'll get the smoke going and put it right by the microphone. Thank you very much, Jasper. Very awesome. And yeah, you get the song. So that's a bonus. So yeah, you're a big Answers in Atheism, whether you're here in Canada or the UK or Australia or anywhere else, you infiltrate. And let's see. Let's find somebody else that's not Ken Ham.
I think you meant Answers in Genesis. You said Answers in Atheism.
Atheism, answers. Well, that's because I would rather talk about answers in atheism. It's just hard for me to talk about.
It is hard to say.
I was irritated. Forgive me. I got irritated and I had a slip of the tongue. Answers in Genesis is awful, and Answers in Genesis in any other country is awful. There we go.
Yes.
All right. Let's see.
Was Jesus evil?
I love this guy. Let's do this.
Oh, what is Demons and Atheists Hate? Maybe we'll look at that one next.
Demons and Atheists Hate. Where's that one?
Right above it. But go to the one you wanted first, if you love
that one's right under it. So we'll do that one, then we'll do the next one.
Okay.
That's right underneath it. Let's see here.
Atheist Hate. Huh?
Noah's Flood. Christian or not, watch this video because it's going to blow your mind.
Oh, no.
Is it?
I know what this one is.
Oh, Atheists Hate this.
Demons and Atheists Hate this. Oh, yeah, I know what this one. Okay, I remember this one. All right. Yeah, this is a good one.
Scientists confirm that in 5600 BC, the Black Sea had a surging of water that raised it over 100 feet, covering over 100,000 square miles of land. Now this coincides with the Bible's timeline.
No, it doesn't.
How much did it raise it?
Well, I don't know. It raised it. It formed it. I mean, it filled in the basin, right?
I don't know. What is he talking about?
What
Okay, he said
year?
Okay,
Black Sea
5600.
formed?
What year did he give?
5600 BC.
Yeah, it's 7,500 to 6,500 years ago. They say their flood was 400 years ago. But now, see, this would align with, they would have heard about this flooding event, right? Where this whole thing flooded out, and you're going to see why. Here, let me see. Let's let him finish it real quick, and you'll see why.
And this would have been catastrophic for anyone living in that time period.
Yeah.
This man named Robert Ballard, who found the remains of the Titanic, went down to see if he could find the evidence that this was actually true. And what he found will shock you. He found the remains of human habitation over 7,000 years old, buried
Over 7,000 years old. Thank you.
300 feet under the surface of the Red Sea. Scientists even said that this points to the biblical flood. And this just proves that the Bible is real. And if you aren't an atheist, let me know in the comments and subscribe for more biblical.
No.
So if he's saying that this was the great flood, he's also saying that it didn't flood the world like the Bible says.
Yeah.
Saying there was a big flood, and that's what they think it was.
If he's going to cite this, go ahead, Mike.
They found evidence in core samples that there was an influx of fresh water over a period from 9,000 to 5,000 BC into the Dead Sea. That was the evidence. But did it just happen there? I mean,
no, this is
evidence for the rest of the world.
Isn't he talking about the Black Sea?
Yeah, the Black Sea.
Black Sea. Okay, this is Dead Sea Basin shows it too. So the Dead Sea Basin.
The Black Sea basically was a valley, and it filled in because there was what do you call dirt, whatever, right? There's dirt, soil, whatever the proper terminology is, and there's water over here, and there's no water over here, and then it kind of wore down, and then the water came in, and it filled in this whole valley, right? And sure, there was probably some people that lived in that valley, and they're finding stuff down there. But first of all, it's not the timeline for the flood in the Bible, and second, it's sure, this is already known about. This is not like blowing my mind. And what was the other thing? Dang, I forgot what the other thing was. There's one other thing. This would be a good example of something that would have been known about for at least a couple thousand years of oral history to be handed down to retell what? A big flood story. Now that makes a lot more sense out of this than how he's trying to twist it to be.
Yeah. So this is highly contested, this event, but there's evidence that it turned to brackish water, and they think it was a glacial dam or something, or a dam that let the Mediterranean into the
there was something that gave way there.
Yeah, but it was the wrong timing. 5,600 is 7,600 years ago, and they claim the flood was 4,000 years ago. Problem.
Yep. So,
what's 2,000 or 3,000 years?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, but yeah, if you take all the if you take all of it out of there, to me, it clearly says, well, this is where they got the flood story from, because it would have been regional, and it would have been catastrophic if for anybody in that area that, obviously, the whole valley filled in with water. So, sure, that could have been handed down, and like other flood disasters, people retold them, and for good reason. So
Okay, and
heed the warnings.
They think the flooding may have been more gradual, occurring over centuries rather than days or weeks. There's no evidence, I guess, for a wall of water, or very little evidence, so it's contested as hell. So
Yeah, and it's not what do you call mind blowing.
they look for any little straw they can find. You know, they
Yeah.
watch science channels all day long and just say, "Oh yeah, we can use that one. Oh, look at that one."
We'll drop that one off. All right. So, and next, is one of my favorite from CMI here. We'll look at this one next
Mitch
here.
comments on TikTok, dinosaurs casually dying before the creation of the earth.
Well, once again, his belief system is evident, right? He's believing that the dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago.
Yeah.
What did he say before the creation of the Earth? The dinosaurs died before.
Hold on.
What did he say?
Mitch comments on TikTok, dinosaurs casually dying before the creation of the earth.
What the fuck is that? What?
It's sarcastic. He's being sarcastic, saying, "Oh, the dinosaurs died before the Earth was created because they think it's only 6,000 years ago."
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, he's being sarcastic, and then he's going to reply with,
Well, once again, his belief system is evident, right? He's believing that the dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago.
"Because they did."
Yeah, they did.
You see, right away he's setting it up to again. Well, they just believe this, you know. Somebody one day decided, you know, we need a year for this, so let's pick one. 65 million years sounds good. Of course, now I think it's more like 66 million years, but don't mention that, or they'll say all of science has been changed because they adjusted the age a little bit.
And probably not unreasonably, because that's what he's been taught. That's all we see on the TV
Oh, that's
documentaries,
it.
right? But that's not what the Bible says.
Oh,
He's been taught. Oh, okay. So they decided to just one day they just decided pull a number out of a hat and or out of their asses and start teaching kids this. And
well,
so-
it was
so
on
that's-
TV, Mike.
Yeah, it was on TV. Maybe
It was on TV. They said on
it was
TV.
on the Flintstones. I saw it on the Flintstones.
It was on TV that the Earth is billions of years old, and so that's why everybody believes it, because it
So
was on
Hollywood
TV.
writer on Coke came up with it.
The Bible says that all the land-dwelling animals were created on day 6 of creation, which was when man was created. So dinosaurs and people lived together, of course.
Well, there it is. Now we've got to the fun. We've got to the yabba dabba do time of the show.
Yeah, give some evidence.
Yabba dabba do. Just love it. The Magic Zoo boat time, folks. Somebody mentioned we need a Magic Zoo boat emoji, and I think that'll be coming up every. See, what do we need? I think we needed a few more members, and we could get another emoji. So, if you're thinking about joining, or tell a friend, and maybe we can get a Magic Zoo boat emoji. John Hudson, good to see you. Thought that was somebody else. If I missed somebody else, hello everybody. We got all the best people stopping through. I appreciate everybody stopping through. And this guy, I've seen so many videos from him, and he just bugs me with his smugness. And he's another one, they imported from Australia. What's going on with that? I want to know.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the heat. It's the heat and
is that what it is?
Yeah, and the venomous bugs. They actually
According to the Bible. We then read that a pair of every kind went with Noah on board the ark. Must have included dinosaurs.
Must have been dinosaurs on the Magic Zoo boat. Of course,
Everyone and every animal, land-dwelling, not on the ark, drowned in the flood. Dinosaur fossil remains are found in this, what's called the opistotonic posture. It's the position an animal gets into when it's drowning or suffocating. Consistent with them having died in the flood. So the evidence for dinosaur fossils is exactly consistent with the Bible's record.
No, first of all, that thing about I've heard this argument before. Animals with longer necks, when they die, it kind of curls up because of how the rigor mortis or whatever, because of the, one way is stronger than another when it does it or whatever. And anyway, the neck curls back, okay? It doesn't mean that it drowned in a flood. And, of course, fossils are found in a lot of other positions as well. So that's a dud right there. But the Yabba Dabba Doo time, well, of course, man and dinosaurs were made on the same day. So, of course, when the Magic Zoo boat came, Noah had to take the dinosaurs on the Magic Zoo boat as well. Of course. And this is a grown man. I mean, he's got to be as old as me. Look at that gray hair. Talking this nonsense about the Magic Zoo boat. And this is what I said. This is what bugs me. All right. We got all these clowns like Andrew and Jim Bob and all the rest of them. And Jay and Jay Dyer. I don't want to say the wrong Jay. Jay Dyer and all these other idiots with their big philosophical fancy arguments. Oh, this and that, blah, 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 about God. And it's like, don't you believe in the Magic Zoo boat? Yeah. Well, then I think you're ridiculous. Okay. You cannot give me this big fancy argument and then throw in the Magic Zoo boat. All right. You cannot tell me about this divine intelligence that created the universe with its power and then tell me the Magic Zoo boat story with the dinosaurs and all those Ken Ham garbage with saddles on the dinosaurs and riding them like horses and everything. Come on. You want me to take you seriously? All right. I cannot take you seriously. Okay. I can't. And it goes for any other one. Split the moon in half. Ridiculous. The moon isn't split in half. Okay. Your religion's silly too. The ones, how many of them are battling in the skies, right? The gods are up there having their little cloud fights and everything and stuff. It's ridiculous. I don't care what other arguments have. If you've got these silly mythologies that you're going to hold to be literally true and then try to argue them with, well, if they just took the baby dinosaurs, they wouldn't have had to feed them as much. It's like, are you seriously sitting around trying to figure out how they took the dinosaurs on the Magic Zoo boat?
Yep.
You need to check yourself. You really need to check yourself when this is what you're spending your hours doing, is trying to figure out how many dinosaurs, how much food they needed.
They were talking about. There was a video the other day, and he was going over all the things that are wrong with the Noah's Ark thing. And the one I thought was the most fascinating.
Oh, holy Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah, they had lanterns, and with all that methane, it would have been like, boom.
Yeah, I've talked about that before. Now, mind you, I do not want, anybody, injured or harmed in any way, shape, or form, okay? No. But if Ken Ham would like to go into a closed shed, with the equivalent of the methane from thousands of animals in the ark with one window. Remember, it has one window. The ark has one window. Have you ever, Mike, I know you've been to a farm and stuff. Do barns have one window, or are they all like really well open?
They're actually pretty close. Well, no, they're pretty open on top. So yeah, there's a lot of ventilation.
They get some ventilation, don't they?
You get some ventilation, right?
And nowadays, of course, they put the big fans in and everything and stuff, right?
Up in the hay barn, you have to keep it ventilated, otherwise the hay will start a fire.
Yeah, so that too. Forget food storage. We're just talking. Food decomposition would probably add to the problem too. But
the one thing I hate
put the methane in there, and then have Ken Ham go in there and spark up that oil lamp, or start using the forge, because he's got a blacksmith shop on his ark thing. Yes, open flame, full of methane. You know what? You're gonna fail. Okay, you're gonna fail.
What did he call the position, the death pose? What did he call it? Opistotonic? Opistotonic? Or was it something else?
Let me see.
dinosaurs casually dying before.
And his belief system is evident, right? He's believing that the dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago, and probably not unreasonably, because that's what he's been taught. And that's all we see on the TV documentaries, right? But that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that all the land-dwelling animals were created on day 6 of creation, which was when man was created. So dinosaurs and people lived together, according to the Bible. We then read that a pair of every kind went with Noah on board the ark. Must have included dinosaurs.
Must have.
Everyone and every animal, land-dwelling, not on the ark, drowned in the flood. Dinosaur fossil remains are found in this, what's called the epistotonic posture.
Yeah, epistotonic.
Yep.
Okay.
There it is.
Well, I just want to check on a fact here. So what I really hated about being a farm boy in the winter, you know, the bottom of the barn was, you know, you tried to keep the heat in for the cows. Have you ever smelled hay breath? I mean, it stunk of hay breath. I hated hay breath. I would have preferred cow shit to hay breath. It's horrible. Don't ever do it. Don't ever let her make.
We did it. We did a sheep squatch emoji.
Yeah.
All right, John.
I'm doing a fact check here. Find out how many fossils are found in this position. Oh, are all fossils found in this
Yeah, I know. I do like the Magic Zoo boat. I have it in mind, tilting, because you know, it's just the thing, right? I don't care, right? I really don't. You know, Jim Bob can call me a dummy all he wants to, but he's trying to, and I'm just using his name, just because he's a local doofus, right? And, but all of them. All right, it applies to this guy. It applies to any of the preachers that are up in the pulpit. Any of them, they're standing up there trying to tell me man lived with dinosaurs. They rode them around. They had saddles on them. They used them to pull plows and all kind of things. And you expect me to not laugh in your face? You got another thing coming. All right, it's just so ridiculous. Okay, and it's cute for a children's story, I guess, if you know, the whole world being wiped out is your idea of a cute children's story.
Okay, only a minority of fossils are found in that position. They did a study on all the fossils, and they came up with let me see if they come up with a percentage here. I think
it's something to do with the rigor mortis or something that. The certain ones do that, and I think they have to have a long neck like birds and stuff do, or whatever.
Yeah, you know, I spend all day reading soft tissue papers because of Rebecca and Bread of Life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and man, that is a real dense story, I'll tell you.
We got, you know. Seeing, you know, the unmentionable one over there, the Oclonio, with like he's trying to move in to replace the Sal that got ditched over there, trying to be the new I don't know, somebody that backs up what Rebecca says. You know what I mean? What is it? Support.
Okay, so 2.5% of fossils are found in that position. So why are they lying? Why are they lying?
Well,
2% or less. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so, we
Bread
were
of life. Bread of life.
So Mike was, poking the bear, and he's over there at Bread of Life's channel.
Boy, she's being shitty to me. She is really crappy to me. I have been so polite with this guy, and then she says, "Oh, that guy you're talking to, there's no hope for him. We should pray for him." It's just like, that's all he's going to do is go on and on about science and science. Just going to go on and on.
So she titles the thing something like "Bring It" or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like she really doesn't want any of us over there. She really doesn't.
Yeah, I bring it, and then she does that. She you saw the response she gave me. It was like, "Oh, that guy you're talking to, he's never going to believe. He's never going to believe." Like,
she did say hi to me on BS Lewis had a stream, and she came on, and she said hi to me in the chat, believe it or not. So, hi, Rebecca. But
I consider her a friend, and
we think you're moldy bread, though.
Yeah, she really has been nasty to me, and I just don't know. I don't know. She's been nasty to me because she failed to convert, and she finally got pissed off at me, and I thought we were friends, And it's like, God, if you're gonna let that come between us, that's fuck you.
And once again, we're not picking on her for her religion. We're picking on her for her pseudoscience, and that she was into making people's legs grow too. And faith healing stuff, that's another big one. You got to call it out, okay? Because it's nonsense and it can actually harm people, okay? It's not just, praying and this kind of stuff, okay? When you're giving people this false hope or saying that they're fixed of something that they should be going to see the professionals about, no. Not tolerable. Just not.
Oh my God. No. So ChatGPT, after thinking and reviewing for at least a minute, came up with under 0.1% of these fossils had the head thrown back. Opisthodonic position.
There you go. So we was talking about bread of life is moldy bread.
Moldy bread. Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca used to talk to the atheists, but then she got upset with all of us one day and doesn't really
mean. She got just mean with us, and I'm hurt. I mean, it actually hurt my feelings.
Well, she got seriously ticked with me because I was talking about her miracle healing videos, and again, that kind of stuff is what folks like me call out because. We've talked about it a lot. If you want to have your religion, you're not bothering anybody. I can, let it go. But if you're going to be bothering other people, no. If you're going to be pushing miracle cures, no. If you're going to be pushing pseudoscience, any of that stuff, no. If you're going to be telling people you made their legs grow, no. And
she was growing legs, wasn't she?
She was growing legs, and she doesn't like to be told that, that is just, so ridiculous. You know what I mean?
And probably dangerous for people.
Yeah, you want to sit and have this deep philosophical argument about the existence of God, right? And I can understand the arguments, Sure, maybe there's some big superpower thing out there. I don't know, right? It doesn't seem to show up here, so it doesn't really seem to matter to me, right? But you're going to go into this Noah's Ark thing and Adam and Eve, and somewhere I think I've got one about the chariot wheels in the Red Sea that Ron Wyatt found, right? That guy keeps resurfacing too, even though he's dead. It's ridiculous. These things just didn't happen, These stories have to have a different meaning other than literal, okay? Just period. And stop it, or I'm just going to laugh because it's silly. Magic Zoo boats are funny. Adam and Eve in the garden feeding dinosaurs watermelons is funny. If it's not funny to you, I don't know what to say. That's funny, okay? It's just funny. I don't know what else to say. Come on, give me a break. Yeah, she's got... examining origins. It used to be called something evolution or something, and she changed it.
Yeah, so if you want to have a hoot, Austin Sims and I'm not sure if you commented on that. We've been commenting, and we have a bunch of comments on there, and a couple of them were deleted. But when she came up with that one today, I was just like, "What in the hell are you on about? You're telling this guy that I'm going to go on and on because I was asking him, why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? Why do you think that?" And she didn't like that. Just,
Well, she came on BS Lewis stream, and BS, of course, is, he's like us. We're polite. You know what I mean? If Rebecca wants to come on, I'd talk to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I talk.
So he's being polite, right?
I got a lot of things to say to her.
But then BS also brought on breakfast tacos, and Zach from the Shaken Fist. And the two of them started going at Rebecca. And it's like, and I'm trying to drop in the chat, guys, you ain't going to get anywhere. She's been arguing these things about evolution for a while, and they're just, starting from scratch basically with her, and it's just like, oh, and of course she started getting a little bent, and BS had to say, all right, well, let's ease up on Rebecca a little bit.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know what she was thinking or what BS was thinking. BS should have just talked to her, because you're going to invite, Tacos is brutal. I mean, I like Taco and everything, but he's brutal, right? And Zach is a Shaken Fist. He's no nonsense too. So it was a brutal evening.
Asleep. Did Scott fall asleep? I'm going to call him and wake him up.
So yeah, we anyway, that's our history.
I'm here. No, I didn't fall asleep. I was looking at my some family tree stuff on the internet.
What the hell? So distracted.
That's our brief history with Rebecca. I went from atheist of the month to persona non grata. So.
Right. And for me, every time I try to, she asks for evidence, and then I start explaining some fairly detailed scientific evidence, right? And she says, oh, that's just a story. It's like, yeah, all science is basically a story when you think about it. When you think, okay, carbon bonds with oxygen, and that's burning, right? And it creates carbon oxide, carbon dioxide. Oh, that's just a story. So she totally discounted, and she won't listen to anything you say because it's just a story. Well, they're all stories. I'm sorry. That's how we communicate.
That video comes up all the time for me, Mike, when you were on there doing that thing with her about the story stuff.
About the story, yeah. And it's just it really pisses me off.
It comes up in my feed all the time. So
because a good science communicator will tell a good story about how the mechanism works, right? Yeah. I was trying to do that with her on liver evolution, and she just got all huffy with me. It's just a story. It's just a story.
It's the same thing when they use layman terminology to try to, do science communication to regular folks and just kind of, talk to them in plain language. And then it's, see all this wording they're using. And it's like loose language and all this. And it's like, well, yeah, because if you stand there reading the scientific paper, you're going to lose them real quick. Okay. You're trying to communicate the general thing of it,
And what's it called when I tell you that Noah heard a voice from the heavens that told him to build a big zoo boat, and all the animals
go for wood.
2 by 2 on the. Is that just a story, Rebecca? Is that just a story?
And so to anybody trying to give these deep philosophical arguments to me, and then you're going to tell me the bedtime story of the magic death zoo boat. I don't know, what do they call it? The genocide park or something like that is what they call the Noah's Ark park. Is that your bedtime story? Come on. I cannot take any. And this guy's sitting here. Well, of course they would have took the dinosaurs on, and of course they, and of course you had to take 2 of each kind of dinosaur, and of course. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. Come on.
This guy is telling a story about dinosaurs' necks being thrown back because they died in a flood. That's just a story. And it happens to be the difference is that his story isn't true. My stories are true.
Yeah.
True story. You heard of a true story, right?
And this is the thing. It goes beyond, they don't just believe this stuff. They're sitting around trying to make up these excuses and answer like, how'd they get the waste off of Noah's Ark and all this. And it's like, how many hours have you spent trying to figure out how to get the waste off of Noah's Ark? It's got to be so mind-numbing to me.
and get the hay in the. Aunt Claire wants her legs to be uneven. We can give you the email address. Maybe you can get that done.
That's what it is. The Genesis and the park. Yeah, and the Bible isn't a story. Yeah, of course, that was Mike's point. It's even the Bible or anything else trying to convey anything is done in a story form.
It's
otherwise,
things.
Yeah, otherwise it's the boring stuff of what you'll hear from a lot of these scientists is reading scientific papers are not thrilling, right? It's not a novel with a dramatic ending or anything, it's a scientific paper, right?
But the thing is that when I was telling her the story about how the liver formed, now if she heard that story and she basically just listened to it, then she asked me questions about it, I could give her more stories about how each part of that happened. Yeah. And on and on and on. And that's what science does. Science just keeps elaborating and creating more and more detailed stories. And that's what they're doing every day in biology, all the papers that come up. They're just more and more details. But you can't do that with the Bible. All you can say is that magic.
Ryan's going to go to bed. Probably got to get up for the show in the morning, I'm guessing. You have a good night, Ryan. Thanks for stopping by. And everybody, make sure you check out Ryan's channel as well.
Well, what is the channel? Ryan Cultastic?
Ryan Cultastic.
Why didn't I know about this one?
I think we got you subscribed last time, Mike. Remember you guys subscribed back and forth?
I'm old. I don't remember any goddamn thing.
Pretty sure you guys subscribed back and forth, Mike. Check your subscriptions.
I will.
See you in the morning. All right. Have a good one, Ryan. Let's see. What was it? How did the kangaroos hop back to Australia? Yeah. Well, they claim there's a land bridge. First of all, there's no land bridge, and you would have to have one heck of a land bridge because there's some deep ocean going over there to Australia, and no land bridge. So they must have been a really, really big one hop. What do you call get a good running start, right? And
jump over
do that from the tip of what would be Africa to Australia, I guess, or something.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, didn't they say the continents were moving at about 45 miles an hour? So they would depending on which direction they were going, they would either add 45 miles an hour or subtract, because the continental plates, they think, were flying around. And that's how Raw Matt says the mountains formed. Mountains couldn't form if the continents were only going at like a few millimeters a year. They had to be going at least 60 miles an hour to make a mountain. That's what Raw Matt actually said out loud. He said the mountains had to be going at least 60 miles an hour, or the continental plates had to be going like 60 miles an hour in order to create a mountain, like the Himalayas. Oh my!
Permanent Flux just subscribed to somebody. Is that Mike?
Oh no, Ryan Cultastic.
To Ryan. Okay.
Yeah, I put their link out because I do that. I do links. You know how I like
sweet.
Links. You know what happens when you say something and you don't give me a link, right?
And you catch Ryan on the Damn Show over at Chris Mallard's channel too in the morning.
Oh, okay.
What we got here? 10:40 here.
Yeah, it's getting late.
So let's see. Let's find some we can wrap things up here with some that's just about as entertaining as the Magic Zoo boat. Let's see. Let's drop this one off the thing. Trying to drop them off so I don't do repeats. I got so many. There's got to be a good one here. Let's see.
Oh my goodness.
Who's got a bone to pick? Another Noah's flood? No, we just did Noah's flood. I think that's enough Magic Zoo boat for now.
Jeez, how did I forget this? Oh my god. My mind is going. I'm sorry. Oh.
But it's atheism falls apart when you read this verse. Oh no. I don't remember
Okay.
this.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
remember this one, so this might be a surprise. Let's see what
This
this
would be a
is.
good one.
Atheists say that God isn't real. This one verse changes everything. Romans chapter 1 verse 20 says, "For since the creation of the
Oh no, not Romans 1:20. Did they actually say Romans 1:20? You know what that means.
No, 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 no.
Oh my goodness.
I have just committed to laughing every time they bring up Romans 1:20.
It just destroys atheism. You know,
It destroys
is that why
it.
you're laughing?
world, God's invisible qualities."
Oh yes, it's got to be my favorite Bible verse. It's like the number one Bible verse for apologists and believers of all sorts to say, "See, look how dumb you atheists are. You can't see God's invisible qualities, right?" I'm sorry. This is another one of those things. Okay, I'm laughing every time I hear this. I'm laughing. Okay. I'm laughing. You're accusing me of not seeing invisible things.
Yeah, right. This is this the basis of look at the trees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What has he got here?
His eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen.
There they are.
Literally. Yeah.
You got trees. We've got trees. Intrepid is already subscribed to Answers in Atheism. If you're not subscribed to Answers in Atheism, you should be, because Mike's got a lot of great content over there, and he's always putting out new great content. So
Yeah, we should do something
make sure you
tomorrow
go over there.
on soft tissue and Rebecca.
Want to talk
We
about
should go over
Rebecca
there.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we should do that. We should go through the soft tissue. I just pick one thing at a time, you know, and
I got
it's been a,
Yeah, I've got a handful of these moldy bread thumbnails if you need one.
oh yeah, I copied that thumbnail. That is going to be my thumbnail.
All right.
The
We're good to
bread
go
area.
then. Yeah, but there's look at the trees. Okay, what else you got? Rest of it?
Being understood from what has been made so that people are without excuse. That means
Without
creation
excuse.
itself.
Yeah, it's look at the trees, and it's like, but see this. Well, let's finish it first.
Is proof there's a creator, just like painting proves there's a painter. The universe proves God exists.
Oh, and he throws the watchmaker in too.
Yeah, the watchmaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Science points to order and intelligence, not randomness. Deep down, everyone knows that there's a God.
I'm guessing he's throwing fine tuning in there.
The question is, will they accept him? If you believe God is real, then type Jesus is King in the comments.
Yep, there it is.
Jesus. Okay, so you look at the trees, and I see the trees, and I think, oh my God, they can make a magic zoo boat out of those trees. And so I believe it, but then how
Only
does
if it's
Jesus-
gopher trees.
I don't see Jesus. How does Jesus get in the trees? Am I supposed to see Jesus in the trees? Really? So look at the trees.
Jester says, look at the trees. Are you going to weigh in on this? Look at the trees has weighed in on this. And you know what? I interviewed Look at the Trees about looking at the trees on my channel. So you can always check that out. I've also interviewed a couple dozen other people, including Mike here. There's a bunch of interviews over there. Mark Reed, Grayson, so many folks. I can't even name them all. A lot of great interviews over there. So, yeah, if you want a little know something about some of the folks there, I've got it's like 24 interviews I think I've done, just talking with people and getting to know them. So yeah, you can always check those videos out as well.
So Permanent Flux subscribed to me twice. I really appreciate that. Ian Chen subscribed his unborn daughter to my channel, which I really appreciated. So if any of you have unborn children, please ask them to subscribe to my channel. Okay, that's my pitch.
Yep. Scott, what'd you say?
What did I say? I don't know.
Okay.
It was positive. It was positive.
I think it's time to end.
Probably has something to do with Rapid Chimp and Permanent Flux.
Let's see. We'll do one more here. We got time for one more. I'm gonna do one more. You guys want to drop off? You can always drop off. I'm gonna do one more. We'll call it right on the 2-hour mark. So let's see. Scroll down here and see what we got down here.
Atheists do not exist. How's that one? Atheists do not
exist. I got a couple of those.
Oh, atheists
do not value evidence. You want? No. Yeah, that's the one I was looking at.
Okay.
Let's do that. This will be the last one here. This is going to be the finale for tonight. And I do appreciate everybody stopping by. A lot of great folks stopping through. Appreciate the membership gifting and the folks that have become members as well. Appreciate that as well. And enjoy the emojis. Enjoy the early viewing of my videos when they come out. And of course, thanks everybody that subscribes, likes, drops comments, all those good things that help out the channels. I really appreciate it. And you know who you are. I see some of you in the chat. Really appreciate it.
Atheism falls apart when okay.
Atheists do not value evidence. Here we go.
We hate it. We hate it.
I don't like it at all.
The question I have for any and every atheist is, would you convert to Christianity if there was evidence of God and of Christ being God? If you say no, then...
Well, see, that's a lot of things. Okay, you're specifically talking about the Magic Zoo Boat God, right? See, here's the problem, right? We're back to, is this the Magic Zoo Boat God, or is this just any God? No, this is the Magic Zoo Boat God because he said Jesus. So it takes me right back to the Magic Zoo Boat, and it's like, so.
Okay, if I could observe the Red Sea parting, and if I could repeat it and observe it again and again, you might have me. I mean, I like evidence. Yeah. But I have to observe it, right? It has to be observable and repeatable.
But what evidence are you going to lay out here? You're going to throw some Bible verses? I don't remember what he says. Some of these I've had in my queue for a while here. So, here's the thing. But already going in, I'm thinking, I already know this is about, would you accept the Magic Zoo Boat? And it's like, I just can't accept the Magic Zoo Boat.
Clearly that's a problem. But those who say yes, that if there was evidence showing that Christ was God and that God himself was real, you would indeed convert to Christianity. Now, what would you say about those having...
Well, there's another problem there too. The whole Trinity supposed thing, right? Where it's God and the Spirit and Jesus is actually God, but Jesus seems to be totally unlike the Old Testament God. So, how does that reconcile? And then you have Jesus talking about the Father, praying to the Father. Is he talking to himself?
Yeah, and then you have billions of Christians fighting with each other over this Trinity thing. So,
the work isn't done if for some reason you believe. Of course, Jesus is real. What do you mean? Jesus existed. Jesus performed miracles. Jesus was resurrected. And so let's say you do say, okay, that stuff is true. Then you have 33,000 other issues to deal with, meaning that there are so many denominations of Christianity most of whom say, well, those guys, they're going to hell because they don't believe quite the same sub points that I believe. So you've got your work ahead of you.
And we've got AJ stopping by. AJ, so good to see you. We got something just for you, AJ.
Where's AJ?
That's Ways to Human.
We got something just for you, AJ. There you go. This is just for AJ. We were mentioning it the other day, but I didn't see AJ stopping by. AJ became a citizen. So congratulations, AJ. And this is for you. And Halsey, hello. How you doing? Good to see you as well. You're welcome,
Nice.
AJ. Again, congratulations. And I was over on AJ's channel over at Ways to Human. Make sure you check that out. It's in the link in the description for Saturday. I don't have any links tonight, sorry. But Saturday, check Saturday Night at the Atheist. Link is in there. Or you guys can always drop the links. Make sure you check out AJ over at Ways to Human.
I'm dropping the link right now to Ways to
We're
Human.
when we've figured something out that some reciprocation there on a good topic, I told AJ we'll have AJ over at the desk and Joe as well, and we'll have a chat over here sometime.
Hey, I'm gonna be on Sound Epistemology sometime in June.
Are you?
And he's going to run the street epistemology on me about why I believe evolution. That's the plan. That should be interesting. So
Deconverted Man's going to be on Monday or Tuesday on what's it called? A cup of tea or something like that.
really,
Yeah, he's got to check his community tab. The post is there with the link for the thing. It was supposed to be this week, but they had to reschedule it, so it's going to be next week, Monday or Tuesday. Something like they ask him something, and then you just get the floor and you explain like one topic or something like that.
okay. So posts, it's under posts. Deconverted Man, My Fun with AI. I can't find it. What the heck?
Yeah.
What channel is he going to be on?
Hold on. I get it for you.
Oh, Truth Over Tea. I got it.
You got it? Okay. Truth Over Tea. All right. There it is.
We'll post the link. Post the link.
He's going to be on Truth Over Tea.
And
There you
here's
go.
the link
All right.
to that.
And there's the link.
Oh,
We got
okay. Yep, we got it.
the link. There you go. I've got a reminder on. So yeah, everybody check that out. Should be an interesting conversation. Deconverted Man's always ready to have an interesting conversation. So unlike these things here, Deconverted Man will break stuff down pretty well.
I'm trying to find the link to the video for Deconverted Man. He gave me the link to the channel.
I don't think it's up yet because it got
it isn't up yet.
rescheduled. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
but if you subscribe with a bell is what I did to make sure I get
Yeah. I just did that.
Having received all that evidence, you still say no. Would you say they are now being
No, we're not going to still say no if you have good evidence. Come on, get on with it. What's the good evidence?
Yeah.
irrational because
What is
they're
it?
not following evidence? If you're an honest atheist, you will say
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
If evidence is provided,
Sure.
enough so that we can confirm that Jesus Christ is God. Those who don't then come to that conclusion, even though the evidence says so, are dishonest and delusional.
All right. And I'm already getting the thing that he's going to there's evidence of Jesus, so that makes him God vibe or something. I'll grant you a Jesus. It doesn't get you to a God.
No.
Now, what's funny is that's just a category that you actually fall in.
No.
Because there is so much evidence that God is real. The fact that there is creation.
No.
can only-
Oh,
Pivot. Yeah. At first he said
Yeah.
Jesus is God, not
yeah.
God is real.
And then he
God is
dove right into,
Yes, Jesus is God.
yeah. Now he's diving right into look at the trees.
Yep.
Point to a creator, the same way your house points to a builder.
Oh, geez, the
Oh, here we go,
watchmaker.
Watchmaker, yeah.
We do not value
Wait.
evidence, and you're going to run down a Ray Comfort stick on us, really? Okay.
The fact that you even have a problem with evil, and we call it the problem of evil, not
A problem. I think people have a problem with evil if something's being done to somebody. Pretty much everybody doesn't like that, unless they have a psychological disorder. Evil's not good. We'll agree on that. I don't know what your point is, but we'll agree on that.
Oh,
not
Intrepid
just
Chimp is
evil
going
as a
to.
brute fact.
What are they doing?
Intrepid Chimp. Oh, he's going to do sound epistemology. So he's also going to do it. That'd be interesting.
Oh, cool.
He travels
Yeah,
all
look-
over the country. I should ask him to come here and do me in person. Cool.
Sweet.
Or pain as a brute fact, or lack as a brute fact.
Pain is a brute fact.
Yeah.
Mike,
Is that evidence? I don't know.
is pain a brute fact?
No, it wouldn't be called a brute fact. No.
It's a
Well,
nervous
no,
response, right?
Yeah, it's a word for something that happens in that mind stuff, which has nothing to do with brute fact. So, no, I wouldn't go for that.
All right.
But why is he
Shows
saying
that
that?
there is an
I don't know. He's trying to prove God with evidence.
Okay, with pain.
Pain.
absolute moral good, and without a mind, that is impossible. And in terms
No moral good without a mind.
Oh my goodness.
Well, see, once again,
Well-
though, if we say mind is in the brain, then you didn't get anywhere with that statement.
That's like saying there's no language without a mind, or
Yeah, and that's nonsense. You can't be moral without a mind. Well, I think we've pretty much settled on the mind is part of the brain, and only people that want to have this spiritual thing seem to support that the mind is something other than in the brain.
right.
of Jesus Christ as God, he is the most well-documented figure from
There it is.
antiquity.
There
What?
it is. There
What?
it is.
More well documented than Joe Biden. Come on.
Well documented in his, yeah, you can tear that apart too, because really you only have a few people telling a story, and then it was repeated by a bunch of people. But the well documented, because they'll go to things like Tacitus, however it is, Josephus, and these people didn't live at the time of Jesus. These people were, they were historians writing stuff down, but they were writing down what they heard. These are not witnesses, and it's what they wrote was historical, but what you get out of it isn't what they wrote. Okay, what they wrote basically was there was a new cult called the Christians, or whatever they called it. If they called it religion or whatever, it's a cult to us, one way or another. But there's a new one. That's what they documented. Okay, yeah, we'll grant you that, but that doesn't mean Jesus is the most documented, because first of all, nobody seemed to notice Jesus, and Josephus had a father named Matthias who was an elder at the temple. He didn't mention Jesus, even though Jesus supposedly was causing trouble at the temple and was hanging around, amazing the rabbis with his knowledge and everything. No mention of him. So well documented, no. Probably well known because of all the spreading of Christianity and the cultural influence on TV and all that. Yeah, but most historically documented, no, not even close. You've got a couple stories repeated, even with Matthew, Mark, and John, or Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You've got an evolution of the stories in there to from what is it Mark that's first and John is last, or something like that. You can see the evolution between them. So maybe you've got only one story that was reached, maybe two. Maybe I'll get you two stories because of John and Luke and stuff. But we'll call it a couple stories is really all it is. It's a couple of accounts, and these accounts are not first person. Yeah. And so what you have is just a mention of somebody is what you have. Nowhere near close to most well documented. It's just not even. I'm not even going to give you an inch on that one. Nope.
They can't even. They don't even have the papers where he was charged with whatever it was that got him crucified.
Yeah. A lot of the things are very.
There's nothing.
They find references of people being crucified, and it's like, but a lot of people were crucified, so that doesn't. Yeah. And again, even if Jesus was crucified, it doesn't get him to be God or making everything in the Bible true or anything else. I will spot you that. I will say if any of this is based on anything, that, okay, Jesus was getting a following and causing some trouble, and Rome didn't tolerate it, and they executed him. I can grant that without any problem at all. There you go.
And at the time he was executed, now you can correct me, Scott, if I'm wrong, but I think if you wanted to be crucified during that time period, you actually had to take a number, and you were probably like, 303. Your number was like 303. You had to wait.
Yeah, it's well documented, like Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
You've only really got maybe a couple stories, and when you hear things like 500 witnesses, there aren't 500 accounts. That's just a claim of 500 witnesses. You've got James and Peter or something like that, and then you've got Paul again didn't know any of this. Paul's getting the stories from them. I guess Paul knew James, which was Jesus's brother, but even then there was differences on what the theology was and everything. Even right after Jesus died, there was disagreement, so they couldn't agree right after Jesus died. Then they're passing it along. So really weak. That was really weak, really terrible, really. You better rebound here because you're about out of time.
Love the
no good explanation for the empty tomb nor the life of
empty tomb. Oh gosh, dude, you're so weak. Look, back to the crucifixion. Okay, standard crucifixion. The idea was you still were punished in the afterlife. Okay, you didn't get the dignity of a burial and all that thing, and generally you were left to scavengers as a warning, usually like outside the city gates when people were coming in, that says, don't F around here, or you'll find yourself up here on this stick, right? There's no evidence that they were given courtesy, and especially if it was sedition with him stirring up trouble against the government and everything, that would be a prime example of someone they would leave up to say, don't you dare raise up your organization in this Roman-controlled city, right? So I don't even buy anything that has to do with a tomb, because I'm just going to go with that why crucify somebody and take him down, literally was he a couple hours? I think it was like noon till dinner time or something like that is all. It seems pointless. They could have just executed him right on the spot. You know what I mean? The crucifixion seems pointless part of the story, and taking him down, and he gets a nice burial, and everything's all happy again. It doesn't match anything. So nope, empty tomb, garbage story, garbage analogy or question or argument or anything else you're trying to bring up against atheists. However, what was the title of this?
Oh, we hate evidence.
We don't value evidence. Okay. You know what? I've got empty boxes in my garage. You know what they're empty? They're evidence of an empty box. An empty tomb is not evidence of anything. An empty tomb,
and there is no evidence
is empty.
Of some tomb that was empty that they found. It's like, oh, this tomb is empty,
and they can't agree on which one it even is. Yeah.
Okay. The tomb where they buried him is empty, and nobody wrote anything anywhere else about it.
No.
Romans didn't write about it. Nobody wrote about it until like 10, 20 years later. Yeah.
I don't think anybody cared about it until the Constantine thing, where they were rolling around supposedly naming all these things.
You think one of those people that rose from the dead, when Jesus died on the cross,
that would
write
be
a
news.
memoir?
The what?
A memoir.
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
And the 500 witnesses. Do we have the names of those witnesses? Did they write those down?
No, we just have an assertion that there were witnesses.
If we have,
I'm pretty sure Apologia has it down to 2 or 3 people is what it is. So, yeah, that's what you've got.
Yep.
All right, this is his last shot, and we're going to wrap it up. So it better be good.
Of the apostles who would live nomadic lifestyles, getting beaten, tortured, and eventually killed for their belief in something.
Oh no, the martyrdom one.
the martyr thing, yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. Somebody just did a video on that too. That the martyrdom wasn't like there's no evidence for it. For any
I
of
think.
it.
Yeah, I think even Sean McDowell has retracted his martyr arguments that there isn't evidence for it. It's like.
Yeah, he just basically says Peter and James are the only ones that we have good possible reason to believe were martyred, but we really don't. We really don't.
Yeah, because it just says they were killed. It doesn't say why, right?
Yeah, and it could be that, like, if it was under Nero, they were just convenient whipping boys to cover for the claim that of Nero that Christians started the fire that he started.
Yeah, and to be killed back then by the government or somebody, you had to take a number for that too.
You're watching History of the World again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or what's the other one? Blazing
Game of Thrones. I'm watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles is another one where Harvey Korman's asking, "Can you get in another to the execution?" And he's like, I'm booked till next week.
Yeah, that is Blazing Saddles.
That they know to be a lie? I doubt it. There's no way. Given the
well, if they didn't actually die for anything, then they wouldn't have died for anything, including a lie. So that's just terrible. Like, again, I'm pretty sure all the ones like Sean McDowell level of apologists are not using the martyr argument.
If they were anything like the evangelists on YouTube or the Jehovah's Witnesses, I could see why they got killed. I mean, you pull that shit back then, you're done.
There's evidence for God and a supernatural realm and a spiritual realm. The resurrection of Jesus Christ makes a lot of sense, especially when you look at how it was prophesied centuries and centuries and centuries.
Oh no, the prophecy of Jesus. We covered this, and even our Scott Duke has gone into this as well before.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, no, this is just terribly weak.
Terrible.
Tell him it's terrible, Scott.
It's terrible. Yeah, he says atheists do not value evidence, but if he valued evidence, he would actually give some evidence.
Yeah.
Make assertions, because that's what he's doing right now.
But he's
we got Jill stopping through too. Hello. Jackie's here as well. All the best folks stopping through. Good to see everybody. We're gonna wrap it up a little early tonight. I've got some to do. Scott's got some to do. So
I got some.
Mike's got. We all have these vitally important things to do. So we're gonna cut it a little short tonight.
I'm rewatching Game of Thrones.
So this is the last bit. Here we go. And then we're going to say goodnight.
Before by plenty of different people over plenty of different eras. And by the way, the prophecies that he made have thus far come to pass.
No.
I'm sorry to break this to you, atheists,
No.
but you guys are actually the ones that fall into the bracket of those that see the evidence and refuse to believe any.
Oh,
that
really?
just happened. That just happened last year when atheists started doing it.
All right, buddy, here it comes. All right. No. You failed miserably, okay? You used a bunch of garbage, old, crappy arguments about an empty box that is not going to convince me. And then you finish off with this gotcha moment. You got to be kidding me, okay? You know what we specialize at around here is laughing at these ridiculous arguments, okay? We've heard them so many times, they're not even worth arguing anymore or breaking down or discussing anymore. You've got 3 senior citizens here that have heard these things 1,000,001 times. Now, I understand, you know, I would like to have this person's youth, okay? Looking like he's got some youth there. I remember those days. I miss them fondly. I really do. Every time I've got to do a project or something, I'm like, man, I wish I was 25, 30 years old again. And, you know, I could do one project with the left hand and one with the right hand. You know, let's go. Give me another cup of coffee. We'll bust this out, right?
Yeah, that's what's nice
More
about
power
being,
to you.
What's
Yeah.
nice about being 74 is I'm starting to not feel that way anymore. I wouldn't want to go through all that shit again. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck it. Yeah.
I wonder how many of these young guys do these videos, you know, these overconfident apologist videos to impress some church girl.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
I-
hey, yo, I'm a religious man. Looky here.
Maybe we'll give him a pass if he's doing it for, you know, some kind of
Chick.
for a chick.
Oh, Mark, what are
Or
you
maybe
doing?
a fella. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know. I don't. That would be problematic or anything.
But here's
Water
here's the thing with the younger folks, and one of the reasons, you know, we hear, you know, why do you keep talking about these things and everything? Well, we got to keep talking about them because you've got the young folks coming up here. He ain't got no gray hairs or wrinkles yet, and he thinks he's got a gotcha on the atheists, and that, you know, we haven't heard these 1,000,001 times, and so we have to address it again. So 1,000,001 times, this stuff's terrible. Okay, it hasn't convinced us over the last, well, at least for me, over the last 40 years, it hasn't convinced me. You've been repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, and it hasn't convinced me. And you can repeat it again, and you know what? It's not going to convince me. One thing we do all agree on is you need a new argument.
Yeah. He's got a Meet My Fiance, the story of how we met on his as his title video or whatever. So he is doing it for the girl.
Okay. See, well, you know, yeah, we were young.
Oh,
Again, we were young once. We were young.
She's in every video. It's like Paul and Paula.
Yeah. So, well, Mike's talking about doing some moldy bread tomorrow. So maybe we'll,
Yeah, make me do it, damn it. Make me do it.
make you do it. Well, the weather here is crappy. Next week it's supposed to turn, and I'm going to be gardening.
Holy shit. We've had rain for the last 48, 50 hours.
So have we. It's been real dreary here. I got plants in flats, and I can't go out and plant for a couple reasons.
Yeah.
It's hard to dig in the wet dirt, and you get all wet doing it. And what's the fun in that? So,
And northern Minnesota's on fire, and they haven't gotten a drop up there. But we're getting deluged down here.
it's, and of course, you know, it pushes everything else back because, you know, spring planting season is Mother's Day, right? And so we're usually around here, at least in our area, Mother's Day is planting day, right? And so Mother's Day was done, gone, and past Mother Nature, and this is not nice.
You're calling our moldy bread fake. Yeah,
Fake. It's
Fake mold.
as fake as it can get right there. At first, AI At first, AI didn't understand what I wanted. I was trying to tell it to make moldy bread. It didn't understand what I wanted at first.
Yeah, what the hell?
But
why would you want that? Why would you want that, Dave? The AI was trying to help you out. It's like, I'll give you some fresh bread.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were giving me really nice bread. It was really beautiful bread pictures. They wouldn't put any spots on them. Like, listen to me, AI. I want it moldy and nasty and disgusting. So, all right. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it's always fun to talk about bread. We haven't talked about bread in a long time, so we're probably due to talk about bread, especially since bread seems to be resurfacing on Sunday evenings with her new show. So
yeah, with her brother, where she browbeats her brother.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. He tries to be nice, but he's got to be thinking, come on, It's the same thing, with any of us that you find out, somebody you grew up with, or went to school with, all these things, and then they're posting some nonsense about a Magic Zoo boat. You're like, really? Come on, we grew up together. Where did you get that from, right?
Yeah, the next time DoorDash delivers, I'm going to drag the guy in and start asking him questions about evolution. That's what the show is about.
It's just so silly. She's so full of herself that she's right and all the scientists are wrong. And it's not just evolution; it's the Big Bang too. It's the same. It's not that they're just picking on one thing. They all talk about the same thing. They don't like evolution or the Big Bang or any of that stuff. And so, I don't know.
She does have some liberal views on Christianity, on LGBTQ, and I really appreciate her for that. That she doesn't go down that path.
That's the only thing that folks have said, but and
she's a good person. I mean, you can tell she's a good person.
Yeah. So, what's my thing going like?
I don't know. You're trying to.
I don't know. I'm trying to get the regular view there, but I lost my default view. Okay, what happened to my default view, StreamYard? You messing with my default view, StreamYard?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna bail when you do the outro. So.
Yeah, we're all out of here. Thanks everybody for stopping by again. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for dropping the emojis. Thanks everybody for stopping through. Yeah. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks Scott and Mike for being here. And we will probably be gathered usually together for Saturday night at the Atheist when Mike's not out at the theater.
Yeah.
He's at the theater last week. He had better things to do than mess with us peasants. He was at the theater. Mike, Scott, Simos, James, Brainless.
Leo was there for a while.
We get other folks, like Leo and a bunch of other folks stopping through, rotating through the panel. It's always a good time on Saturdays, so join us for Saturday night at the Atheist every Saturday evening. And in the meantime, look for us maybe tomorrow talking about some moldy bread. And I hope you all have. Go ahead.
The thing about us is when we do Saturday night at the Atheist, we do reaction videos and we go through the videos at lightning speed. I mean, we get so far. It's just amazing.
I had it was like a 50-minute video last weekend, and I think we got through 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, if you're expecting anything other than just have a good time and some laughs, you're coming to the wrong place. But if you want some good time and some laughs with some great folks, we got some funny folks that, we'll throw some information out there. We'll do a little debunk, but almost everybody on the panel's got a great sense of humor. We always have a good time. We have a lot of laughs. So it's a great reason to stop by for a few and, have yourself some laughs, right? Relax, chill, and enjoy with us, okay? And, do the same. Everybody out there, take care of yourselves. And until then, we're going to play the outro, and we will catch you later.
Good night, everybody.
Under the moon where shadows play, channel lights the calm relay. Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints the night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.